Hey everyone, Mary from SVGCuts here, and I've got some really fun projects for you. And I think the most exciting part of this is clearly this fun little typewriter. And I've been thinking about making a typewriter for some time now, and I really sat and thought about how I could make it look really cute and, retro and everything, but still make it not too complicated. So obviously, I don't think any one of us wants to sit around and put together the keyboard, individual keys or anything. So the cool part is that this keyboard piece, this brown piece of paper, is just all one piece. So to put the keyboard together, you just slap it on there basically. So that is pretty darn cool, and it's finished off nicely on the inside. So you can make it a really cute little fun gift for someone. And I made it in this fun retro funky turquoise color with these pretty patterns. But of course you could make yours any color really, like, black and classic, or really any kind of color. It's going to be super cute. I think in pink it would be really cool. And a bunch of you guys have already made them before I've even gotten a chance to make this video. So that is super cool. They look really great and super fun to see. So we also have our really cute little to-go coffee cup, which I've also been thinking about making for a while now. So I'm really happy that I finally did, and it came out really cute. And I think you're gonna like putting it together. I made the lid nice and easy, and I'll show you how that goes together here in just a minute. So of course, I think this would also be really cute for any kind of holiday, like if you made it with Christmas paper and put some kind of little Christmas stuff over here, or Valentine's, or really any kind of holiday, put that twist on it. It's gonna be really cute. Or just for every day, some kind of fun little gift. So these are totally like gifts in and of themselves if you're making them for someone else, but of course if you put something little and cute inside, that's going to be really fun too. So finally, as far as boxes go, we finally have this little box here, which is a cute little paperclip style box. But of course, if you left off these decorations on the top and you made it, with your own twist on the top and different papers, it's going to be a handy little box for any time of the year too. So we also have some cute little cards that go with these if you want to make a card to go with, or just, a standalone card. And this is like a Rolodex card shaped card, which you guys probably have heard of or seen back in the olden days before all the smartphones and everything. People had paper cards with numbers to look through. So it's really cute. It goes with the whole retro feel that we have. And we also have a retro element on here with this cute golfer guy card. So once again, the card base is pretty universal. If you want to make it without the golfer, make it look totally different, that's going to hopefully come in handy for you too. So this kit here has kind of a retro feel because obviously typewriters are pretty retro now that we all have computers, and with the golfer and everything. So this paper really inspired me to go really retro because the paper itself is really retro. And I think it looks like, it kind of looks like 1960s, and it's all like really cute office type patterns, and it was really fun to work with. I've had it in my stash for a while now, so it might no longer be available. I'm not sure if you can still get it, but it's called 9 to 5 by October Afternoon, and it comes with really cute stickers and of course 12 by 12 paper and all that. But like I always say, whatever kind of paper you are inspired to use that you may already have in your stash or you want to get is going to look really cute too. So one last thing is I like to collect stamps that are just nice, nice captions that you can use for a lot of different things. Like these are just mostly like different ways of saying thank you, and these are both by Hero Arts, and they're Find Joy and Thanks a Bunch. So these are my favorite kind of stamps. I like the Hero Arts stamps. I find these at Archivers, which is a local scrapbook store that's actually no longer with us. But so those are the stamps that I used on these stamped projects, and I think whatever you want to stamp on yours is going to look really cute. So I've got all my shapes cut out to show you how these three-dimensional items go together. So let's get started. So first, for our typewriter, I've got the main pieces of the lid here, and it's these two large pieces and then the two sides here. And then this piece is a liner which goes on at the end inside to finish it off. So these four pieces have a little circle on their tabs, and that's just to help you identify them as the lid pieces. So this is obviously the front here, and then we can tell that this side piece goes here because this tab is the same length as this piece. So if I tried to put this other side on, it obviously would not match up properly. So the first thing I want to do is grab the front and put some glue on this side tab and glue that right into place. And I can go ahead and put some glue on the next tab above it. And also glue that into place. So now I just want to work my way around with these 4 pieces, gluing them side to side like this. So I'll just go ahead and put glue on this side tab and the one above it. And I'll grab the back piece and put that in place. And I'm giving it a little chance to dry before I move on to the next one there. And then I will just glue the final side piece into place here and close it right up. So now I've got my final seam here, and I'm gluing the final side to the front to close the loop of the lid here. And I'm just doing my best to line up the folds with the edges of the paper there. So next, you can see that at the bottom and the back and on the bottom of the front, there are these 2 tabs. And all you want to do is put glue on the inside of that tab and just fold it over. Maybe flip it over on your work surface and press down so it's nice and flat. And then do the same thing with this tab along the back. And those are just there to strengthen it up and add a little stability. So finally, to close this up, we just want to put some glue on all 3 of these tabs and then fold this top right into place. So now I've got this liner piece here, which I put glue all over one side of, and I'm just going to pop that right inside my lid. And that just covers up a lot of those tabs and finishes it off and makes it look a little more polished and nice. And it kind of strengthens up the top a little bit too, which is usually a good thing. So there is our lid. And now we can take a look at these lid panels. There are 4 lid panels. It's pretty obvious what goes where here. And this little thin piece here just gets glued right on the front of this right here. And then all we want to do is glue this piece down right onto the front, making sure that you're not gluing down this little bar that should be sticking up. And then you can go ahead and glue your other side panel pieces into place. And it's pretty obvious where those guys go as well. And now for this little piece of paper that's sticking up out of the typewriter, you want to go ahead and score all those fold lines so that they're all folded. And then on this end tab, we want to put some glue and then bend that into what looks like a triangle on each end. And that's going to obviously stick right up through this slit here. So to glue that into place, I want to put a nice little even layer of glue on this surface here, and then just stick it up through the top and make sure that it's kind of centered pretty nicely and making contact and everything. And you probably want to hold on to it for a little while as it dries. So one more thing for our lid here I've got these two knobs on the side and they're both the same. So if you want to go ahead and put your little panel or any decorations on the front of it, you can. And then we just want to put glue on that side tab and bend it around. And then bend these all over and put glue all over these. And fold this octagon over and make sure it's lined up pretty nicely. And then you can flip it over, put glue on all these tabs, and then you just want to stick it right in the center on the side, as well as the other one on the other side. Now for our bottom of our typewriter, we've got mainly 4 pieces that make up the sides, and they each have a little number down here. So your machine will have cut that number out so you can see it when you look closely. And I went ahead and marked those in with a marker so you could see them better in my video here. So these are pretty straightforward. As far as this top piece goes, you want it to curve like this, but all the other pieces you want to fold away from you. And this is the back, and these are obviously the 2 sides. And then we've got the bottom, which has angles on these 2 bottom corners here. And then this is a similar piece, but it's curved, and that goes on at the end inside as a liner. So we can set that aside. And then, like I mentioned before, this little keyboard is nice and simple because it's just 1 piece. So we will save the bottom for the end too. And let's go ahead and start gluing these guys together. It's pretty self-explanatory. It goes from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. So you can really, it doesn't really matter which one you start with, but I'm going to go ahead and start with piece number 2 here. And I'm going to put glue on all of these tabs going up the side. And you can be even more careful with your glue than I am being, but as long as you get the idea, then we are good. So as you can see, I'm just starting with 1 at a time, 1 tab at a time, and I am just carefully lining them up and gluing them together. And I want to work kind of quickly so that my glue doesn't dry before I get to the last tab up there. But on the other hand, like I always say, I want to give each tab a chance to dry before I move up the seam here. So there are all my tabs in place, and I just want to do the same thing all the way around, working my way around the whole bottom of the typewriter here. So now I'm putting glue on these side tabs of piece number 3, and I'll grab piece number 4 and carefully line those up and put them in place. And now I'm just going to work my way around and put this final piece into place and close up the seam. And as you can see, the tabs are on the other piece for, on this piece the tabs were on this side instead of on that side. And I did that for some reason. I can't exactly remember right now why I did it that way, but it was for some kind of reason. And now all I want to do is the same thing that I started with, and just glue all these tabs into place one at a time. So here is the main part of my typewriter base here all together. So I can go ahead and glue the bottom into place. And to do that, I basically just want to put glue on all of these tabs here and then put my bottom carefully into place and kind of adjust it if necessary. And if you want to start, you can just put glue only on this tab, put that into place, get it kind of anchored, and then lift it away and put glue on the rest of them. If that makes it a little bit easier, you can do that. So once your bottom is in place, you can flip it over and grab your liner and put glue all over this, and then carefully slide that into place, which strengthens the bottom and hides some tabs. And then you can take your keyboard here and just glue that right onto the front. So once you've carefully covered the majority of this in glue, I think it's easy if you kind of aim with this piece right here and just make sure that you're centering the little cutouts with the A and the D, and then you can kind of push the rest of it into place, making sure that it's lined up nicely as it's drying. So something that I did as just a random side note tip is when I have paper like this that's white core, which means the edge of it, because the center of the paper is white, the edge of it is white too, and inside all these letters is white. So a lot of times I like to take a stamp pad and rub it around the edge, but since there are so many intricate shapes in here, I actually took my Copic marker, or any felt tip marker, and I just carefully went around inside every single one of these, and I kind of rubbed my marker around in there. So if you are feeling particularly meticulous, you can do that too. I just thought I would mention that. And then finally, you can just put your cute little space bar in place, and then we've got these tabs that go and fold around or just get flat on the sides. Next, for our to-go coffee cup, I have the bottom of it here, which is really just these 3 pieces. And over here, you don't want to fold this, but there are some tiny little lines cut out, and those are just little guidelines to help you line up the edge of your paper when you're gluing this together. So it's probably hard to see on this video, but if you are looking at yours, you can see those tiny little guidelines there. Hopefully that helps in just a minute when we fold it around together, as well as right now when you're putting your glue on, you can tell kind of where to stay with your glue. So I am just carefully lining this up. And since this is the shape that it is, it might take a few extra seconds of holding it together and squeezing it so that it does not come apart. And it's nice if you can lay it down flat and really press down on the inside there. So next, I want to fold all of these over sharply so that they're nice and straight at the bottom. And then I can set that aside. And I've got these 2 circles here. This one is the bottom, which we'll set aside, and this is the liner. And that's why I cut a big circle in it, so that you could clearly identify it as the liner, which we need right now. So what I want to do is put a semi-thick line of glue, not too much. I might actually have too much on mine right now, so maybe put a little bit less on yours. But I want kind of like a wide little line there so that it's going to line up with these. And then with this on a piece of scrap paper to protect my work surface, I want to take this with the glue side down and just carefully drop that down inside my cup. I'm going to take a peek. Yep, the tabs are all going in the right direction. So I am just, if you could see inside the cup, I'm just kind of going around like this to make sure all the way out to the corner inside here that all those tabs are going down. So there we go. That was surprisingly easy for making a curved shape like this, which I think is awesome. Easier is always better, obviously. So now all we want to do is cover this, in glue. I'm kind of going wild with my glue here, but you get the idea. And then we just want to put the bottom in place. So next, for our sleeve that goes on our coffee cup, actually a lot of times I would say to decorate it first and then put it on, but we actually want to first curve it around. And there are some little lines here which you just want to use as a guideline for gluing and aligning. You don't want to fold those at all. And once we've got some glue on that tab, we can just use those little lines to line up the edge really nicely. And again, since this is a curved shape, you might need to take a little extra time to make sure that it's taking hold. And then now, since it's curved, I can go ahead and put my circle on it. And the reason I do it in that order is because if I had already put the circle on and then I tried to curve it, it would not really curve as nicely. So at this point, you can go ahead and put your decorations on it once you slide it onto your cup, because it's actually, I did it like a real coffee sleeve where you just slide it on and it kind of stays up there. So if you want to put a glue dot or something inside there to hold it on, you can, or you can just slide it on. Now for the lid of our coffee cup. It is nice and sturdy and finished off on the inside nicely. So it's basically think of it in two separate parts. We've got this little top part and then we've got this bottom part. So we want to put together the top part first and then the bottom part, and then we put the two together. So the bottom is made up of these larger rings as well as this longer piece, so we can set that aside. And then the top part is made up of this as well as these guys. So this is just a decorative part that goes on the top, which we can go ahead and glue right now. And I just want to glue that right into the center of the circle. And then this piece is the liner, which we're going to work with along with this piece. So what I want to do is put glue on this side tab and glue that right into place. And then as I'm holding this while it dries, I want to sharply fold each of these over. And I say sharply because I want this to be a nice straight line underneath each of these tabs. And I've still got my scrap paper out so that I don't get glue all over my work surface. And as you can see, that it's kind of shaped like this. That means that this is the top up here. So we're looking at the top, which I just folded over. And we're going to put that down on my scrap paper and then take this donut shaped piece and put a nice semi-thick line of glue around the edge. Then we just want to take that and carefully place that inside and press down around the edge. And it's nice because it's the perfect size to hold the shape and to get everything glued together. And then we can take our top piece and glue that onto the top. And I want to make sure that my glue goes pretty close to the edge so that it's not coming apart, but I don't want too much glue so that the glue's sticking out. So the more, you've probably done enough paper projects that you can tell what the right amount of glue is. And now I can just flip that over and push down again from the inside. So there is our top part, and we can go ahead and fold these tabs the opposite way. And once you've got all those tabs folded, we can take a look at the other part of the lid. So now for the other part of our lid, we've got these 3 rings left, and one of them has 4 tiny little circles cut out of it. That's just to let you know that this is the one we want to work with first. And I want to put glue on the side tab of this long piece here, and then curve it around and line it up as nicely as possible. And I'm going to take a look at the back and make sure that it's pretty much centered back there to let me know that I glued it together nicely. And then I want to again sharply fold each of these tabs over because we want a nice straight line underneath each of them. And once those are all folded, I'm going to put it down on my scrap paper here so that I don't get glue everywhere. And then I want to cover this in a nice line of glue. It doesn't really matter which side because it's going to be hidden once we're all done. So there's a nice ring of glue around that, and I just want to carefully place that inside and press down from the inside, making sure that it's nice and flat. So next, I can take a look at my piece here, and you can see that it's going to fit together like this. And then these last two rings are basically just going to cover up everything and finish it off. So we've got these two pieces, and what I want to do next is go ahead and...
I bumped the camera, say it one more time.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I've got these two pieces here, and what I want to do next is put a dot of glue on each one of these tabs going all the way around, and then push that up from the bottom here, and then go around and push down on each of these tabs, making sure that the glue is holding and that it's nice and flat in there. And then you want to take your two remaining circles. One of them is slightly larger than the other. One is slightly smaller, if you look closely. And this is the larger one. So you want to glue that on top to finish off the top. And then the smaller one, which is the final piece, you want to glue inside to finish that off. Now finally for our paperclip box, which is quite simple. The top and the bottom are basically the same, just obviously the bottom is a little bit taller. So I'm just going to put together the top, and you can see how the bottom goes together too. So we've just got these two pieces which make up the sides, and then this piece which is the lid. So all we want to do is put glue on the side tab of either of these two pieces, and just glue those together side to side, and then put some glue on the side tab again and get those into place. So this one is pretty self-explanatory. You can start to see exactly how it fits together here. So basically all we want to do is just glue, put glue all over all of these and put this into place and adjust it if necessary. So if you want to do it a little more carefully, you can anchor one piece first, one tab first, and make sure that it's lined up nicely. And you can be more careful with your glue. And then you can go ahead and put glue on the rest of these tabs and fold that down and adjust it where necessary. So finally you can just flip that over and glue your liner inside to finish it off, and the same goes for the bottom. So that's it, really fun projects. I hope you love making your typewriter or your coffee cup or your little box. So if you do, you'll have to share a picture with us on Facebook or on our forum or on your blog, or pin it on Pinterest or put it on Instagram and do a hashtag SVGCuts so we can be sure and check it out. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time, and happy crafting.
Learn more by visiting www.svgcuts.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, and watch all of our crafty videos on YouTube. It's a world of crafty content, with you in the middle. SVGcuts.com, inspiring you to live creatively and beautifully.